What up, what up? Winbush here, and today I'm excited to show you guys the moment we've all been waiting for. Finally, something that can replace Mixamo, which is called the AutoRig by Reallusion. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So first off, let's just get started. This just came out earlier today, and if you want to download it, it's absolutely free. So if you go to this website right here, and I'll link it down below, this is the one that you want to come to, accurig.reallusion.com/AutoRig, and you would just click on free download. But what's cool is this is actually living on your machine. It's not a website or anything like Mixamo, so you would actually download it, install it, and then you would do all the auto rigging right on your machine there. It gives you a couple of different examples. You know, we could do the A pose, we do the T pose, scan pose, etc. So whatever you're going to throw in here, it's going to do the auto rigging, and it's all very simple. So let's actually get into the program right now. So once you download and install it, this is going to be what pops up. This is very, very basic. Basically, all you have to do is drag your FBX or your object into this window right here, in which I'm going to use Jotaro from Jar Jar's Bizarre Adventure. I'm going to bring the character into here. So I have it on my second monitor over here. I'm just going to actually click and drag this FBX in here. I actually got this from Sketchfab. It was free on there. So if you go to Sketchfab, there's a lot of free different characters and objects and stuff that you could go get. But once you actually put it into AccuRig right here, this is what pops up. So basically all we have to do is make sure that we're in center align of our symmetry of our character, in which everything is exactly as it should be. So down here in the lower right hand corner, I want to click on rig body and just give us a few moments to rig everything up. And that didn't really take that long at all. So the next step from here, you can see that it automatically put auto joints where they should be. And so if you want to make any adjustments, you can actually just click and start dragging on these as so. And on the right hand side, it will show you exactly where that joint should be. But I'm just going to place it back to where it should be. And everything looks pretty good. But if you hover over each of these joints, it will have an example on the right hand side where it thinks it should go on your character. And so everything is where it should be. So now that everything is good, I want to come down here in the lower right hand corner, right where it says rig right hand. I'm going to click on this, and it's actually going to add all the joints in our hand. And that took a little bit longer because there's a lot more joints in the fingers and everything. But as you can see, everything went according to plan. So I could probably even take the ones on the fingertips and maybe just move them in slightly. But for the most part, it has all the joints in the right place. And if you look over here where it says number of fingers, you can actually tell it how many fingers your character has as well, which my character has 5. But you know, if you're doing like any type of fantasy characters or animals or things of that nature, you might have 0, you might have 2, you might have 3, depending on your character. A lot of cartoon characters only have 4 fingers, and so you could go up here and kind of correlate that to your character. But let's say we're good with our right hand. So down here in the lower right hand corner again, I want to click on rig left hand, and you can see that it went a lot faster this time. So I'm actually just going to move these onto the fingertips here, and then I'm going to finalize my character, and I'll show you guys how we can export this. So I'm going to hit finalize character down here in the right hand corner. Give us a second to rig everything out, and there we go. So we have our character inside of AccuRig. He's moving around. If you look over here in the top right hand corner, we have preview motion. So you could do like a female just waving back and forth. You have a male. If you want to do like some still poses, you have your A pose, your T pose, just arm straight to the side. You can look all around. If you click on body right here, they'll do like some stretches and stuff like that. So you're really just checking the geometry to see if everything is aligned, in which this character rigged really, really well. And so let's see what other ones we have. We could look at fingers. So you can see like our fingers and everything. The joints are pretty accurate. So I would say this does a really, really good job. So no longer are we stuck only using Mixamo. We actually have another option now, and this one is actually on your machine. So let's say that you're happy with how your character rigged out and everything. Do you have a couple of options on how you can export these out? You could do an FBX, you know, traditionally as we would do in the past. You could do a USD, especially for people wanting to use like Omniverse or something of that nature. or you can send it directly to iClone, in which I'll show you the two examples. We'll do an FBX and I'll bring it back into Cinema 4D. And then also you have an option to upload the actor core, in which there's a whole plethora of different motion capture in there. But for this example, I think I'm going to bring it over to iClone 8, and I'm actually going to use some motion capture data that I previously did in a tutorial using my XSens suits, and I'm going to apply it to this character. So to get started, I'm going to come down here in the right hand corner where it says export. And then down here at the bottom, you want to save iAvatar. So this is iClone 8, but again, just to reiterate, you can export a FBX, you can export a USD, or you can send it to iClone, which I'm going to click on here. And then I'm just going to name this one underscore iClone maybe, just so I know which one it is. Leave it in that folder. And there we go. So it's as simple as that. So what I'm going to do now is go back into Windows Explorer, double click on that file that it just made, and then it's going to open up iClone 8. And then I'm going to bring in some motion capture data into iClone 8 and apply it to this character. So whenever I saved out the iClone 8 character, this is what it made right here. So I'm just going to double click on this, and this should automatically open up iClone 8. Now, if you guys go to my YouTube page, I actually did some motion capture on the treadmill. I did a variety of walking, like on the incline. I did running sequences. I did walking sequences. So I'm actually going to take some of that motion capture data and apply it to this character here. And as you can see, here we have Jotaro. He's up in iClone 8 right now. He's brought over. And so the most important thing that we want to make sure that we're doing is you have your character selected. Actually, first, let me use some of the motion capture data that comes inside of iClone 8. So let me come over here to my template, come over to animation. Maybe we'll just do, let's see what's under human male. Maybe we'll do perform. Let's see what we have. So we have, I think we have some cool ones here. Actually, let's do viewing mirror. So make sure he's selected, just left click and drag it into here. And there we go. If we click play, now you can see we have the motion capture data on our character there, which is really, really cool. How this is all just integrates into iClone 8 really, really well. But let me actually hit Control Z, and I'm actually going to bring in my own motion capture data now. So I have my FBX that I got from my XSens suit. Make sure I have my character selected like so. You'll have the yellow box around there, and I'm just going to left click and drag my FBX into here. And right here where it says motion profile, depending on how you did your motion capture, you want to make sure you have your profile for that, or you could just use a default Mixamo, in which I have the XSens. And so I'm going to open up my XSens profile here, and then I'm going to click convert all. All right, so there we go. It looks like it put our character back into the default T-pose. But if I click on play, you can see that's the movement that I did. See me walking up on a treadmill, push the button, and there we go. So I'm hitting the buttons on my treadmill. You see the character is actually walking now, which is really, really cool. Yeah, there's some hands going through the mesh and stuff, but I actually did a tutorial where we can actually fix that. But just for bringing in my motion capture data, this is really, really cool to be able to rig it inside of AccuRig, bring it into iClone, and then apply my motion capture data to this. No longer do I have to mess around with Mixamo skeletons. Sometimes they don't align correctly, but with this setup, everything's just aligning. So let's say maybe you don't own iClone 8 and you still want to bring the skeletal rig over into something else like a DCC, like Cinema 4D. You can actually export out an FBX like so. So I'm back here inside of AccuRig. If I look down here in our lower right hand corner, just going to click on export out of FBX, and then ask you what target application you want to actually use. So we have everything in here. We have Maya, 3D Max, we have Unreal. If I come down here to the bottom, we have several versions of Cinema 4D. We have R18 and before, or R19 and after. So I'm actually going to click on this one, and I'm just going to save it for the latest version of Cinema 4D. Max textures, embed the textures, just click export. I'm just going to save this one and just name it underscore C4D and click on save. And now that I'm inside of Cinema 4D, I'm going to actually take the FBX, drag it from Windows Explorer and drag it into my preview window right here. I'm just going to leave the default import settings on like so. And there we go. So we have our character. He's all rigged up and everything. He's brought here into Cinema 4D and he's ready for posing. So whatever you wanted to do with him, let's say I come down here to one of these other joints. Let's say we have like the neck twist. Let me come up here and find the coordinates for the neck. like so. See, there you go. So we have all the joints aligned and everything as they should be, which is really, really cool. And as you saw in the example, we can export this out for anything. So Maya, Unreal, 3D Max, the possibilities are endless. So hopefully this demo showed you the possibilities of what's AccuRig, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to probably be using this in more tutorials moving forward, so make sure you stay tuned. So hopefully this video helped you out. As soon as I saw that this was available, I got extremely excited, downloaded it right away, and made this tutorial because I figured this is something that the whole community would be interested in. For the past like decade or so, I've been seeing Mixamo used in every single thing that involves characters. I used it a lot myself, but it's good to see competition out there, and hopefully this is only version 1 and they'll keep improving on it. So if you like this video, make sure you leave me a big thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. Maybe this is new to you, you guys didn't know about it before. Let me know how it's working out for you guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until next time, stay fresh, keep creating, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'll see you soon. Take care. What up, Winbush here.